Hello, beautiful people. It's Karen here. I hope you are having a sublime day. We all know that a little something sweet to add to our brunch menu or after dinner or just any time is always welcome. But we're also pressed for time, so we don't have time to always do a huge baking project. So I've got the perfect dish for you. It's an apple turnover, and we add the buttered apples to an empanada or a pastry crust. And so it's super simple to make, and it is always delicious. I like to add a little bit of fresh whipped cream to mine as well because I don't like my mixture super sweet. So let's go take a look at the minimal ingredients that we need to make this dish. To make these apple turnovers, you actually only need 4 ingredients. You need apples, of course. You need a little butter because we're going to butter the apples. You need some sort of pastry dough, and you need some oil in order to brown them in. I actually add a couple of extra ingredients typically. I add a little bit of vanilla, and I add a little bit of nutmeg. But again, those are not necessary. I typically don't add sugar to this mixture because I don't like mine super sweet. But if you'd like to add some sugar, you can add a teaspoon to a tablespoon of sugar to the mixture as well. Now, when we talk about a pastry dough, for this I am actually going to use an empanada pastry dough, but don't get caught up on that. You can also use any type of pastry dough. You can use a puff pastry. You can use any type of pastry dough that you have lying around. I like the empanada pastry dough because it's smaller and it fries up very quickly. So that's why I use that one. But sometimes it's hard to find this particular one if you don't have a larger Spanish market around you. So don't get caught up in the pastry dough, just get one and make it. As I said, I don't like mine super sweet, so therefore I typically do a fresh whipped cream with mine, and I add a little bit of sugar to that, but again, it's not necessary. So those are the only ingredients that you need, and let's get started with making this. So peel, core, and chop your apples into small bite-sized pieces, and then we'll move on to the next step. Once your apples are chopped, you want to add them to a skillet with a little bit of butter. I'm going to use about 2.5 tablespoons of butter to caramelize these apples. While your apples are caramelizing, you want to prepare your pastry dough. So grab however many pastry sheets you think you're going to need. Dust your working surface with a little bit of flour so that they won't stick. And grab yourself a little bit of water because you'll use water in order to close your pastry sheets. I'm actually using 4 pastry sheets at this particular time. Now, I've actually prepared far more apples than I will use for these pastry sheets, but I do that. So when you're making these apples, it's a really good thing to just prepare a little bit extra because you'll use them later. And if you like your pastry puffs to come out hot like I do, you simply pull your apples or whatever particular fruit you've chosen to use out, put it in your pastry sheets and pop it in the oil for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you've got fresh pastries. Once your apples are finished caramelizing, you want to add a dash of vanilla. And a dash of nutmeg. Now that you have your apple mixture prepared, you simply want to fill the puffs. You want to have a little bit of water nearby because you're going to use the water to seal the puffs. And it helps if you have a fork as well because the fork you'll use that as a primper and it will totally seal them. So you take your water and you just brush it all around the sides of your pastry puff. You fold it over, press down, and then take your fork and, as I said, use that and crimp the edges because that will seal it and it'll stop air and water from getting in once you are frying it. And just repeat with as many pastry puffs as you have. Once you've filled your pastry puffs, you want to heat your oil and get ready to brown them on both sides. I've got a little tip for you when it comes to actually turning the empanadas. This is a tip that my girlfriend's mom shared with the two of us for actually turning empanadas. You want to grab yourself a bamboo stick. This is a game changer when it comes to flipping the empanadas. Angel's mom is the queen of empanadas. Angel, tell your mom that I'm waiting for the next batch of real empanadas. And she shared this little tip with us. So grab yourself a bamboo skewer and you will have a much easier time flipping your empanadas. While I'm waiting for my oil to heat up, I'm going to mix up a quick batch of fresh whipped cream. And the only thing that's in this is heavy cream, a little bit of confectioner's sugar, and I'm going to add a dash of Grand Marnier because that just really makes it more fun. So, but you can leave out the alcohol if you like. So you actually use this skewer to move them around, and once they brown on one side, you'll actually pick it up with the skewer and flip it. So there you have a lovely sweet treat that goes with breakfast or dinner, and it's made with all fresh ingredients, and it takes you less than 15 minutes to make, start to finish. Hello beautiful people, it's Karen. I hope you have enjoyed my video for apple empanadas. If you have, please hit the subscribe button so that you never miss another one of my videos. Until we meet again, think sublime thoughts.